What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live show. I am LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly appreciated. Listen, this is the LV Lunchtime Takeout show, man. Kind of wanted to come and, hop on here. 1 second here. Hop on here and talk about last night's loss, man. Disgusting loss. This might be worse than the Detroit loss. This might be worse because Detroit, you knew what it was, right? They wanted it. They wanted to really kind of give it to the Knicks because of what happened last year. We understand that. But to go in there, 2 days off, lifeless, it just wasn't a good look. I'm speaking of the total team. Now, of course, we're gonna talk about, all the different players and stuff like that, and every individual player. Everybody wants to touch on individual players, and I get all that. But we're missing the bigger picture here, and I'm going to touch on that in a second. But offensively, we were disgusting. 8 for 41 from three. We could not throw the ball in the water from beyond the arc. And 39% from the field. I mean, we just didn't have it at all. At all. This is everybody. Everybody. And of course, with that being said, of course, the captain goes down first couple of minutes in the game. He tweaks his ankle, the same ankle that he injured last year and this year, that right ankle. So yeah, we got to see where he's at. But a positive thing is that James Edwards III, I can't even say his whole name, James Edwards III, the reporter for the Knicks, he stated that the captain walked out of there with, listen, no boot, no limp, no crutches, nothing. So that's a positive thing. Does he play tonight? I don't know. He might have flew back home, man, because tonight's the last game of the road trip. This Grover, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live, man. So, just a disgusting game, and then to add icing on the cake, the return of Precious Achua, my man from QB, Q Borough, play ball in the Bronx, at Our Savior Lutheran. If anybody knows about hoops, OSL, pretty good basketball program out there in the BX. Got busy on the Knicks last night. 20 points, 14 boards, 2 for 4 from 3. Precious was sending a message. He was sending a message. He didn't like the way how the Knicks did him. He felt like they did him dirty. They did him dirty. He wanted to send a message. And he did. He did. Then you got Yabusele on the bench. He said, yo, you pick me over this guy? Over this guy? Precious sent a message, man. Sent a message. And then he's making fun of them. Precious doing all that. But they're all tight. You know what I'm saying? It's all tight. It's all fun because they all, Precious talked about how they text each other. They talk throughout the season. So they're all close. Especially him and OG. You know what I'm saying? Him and OG are super tight because remember, they came over from Toronto together. So he texts all these guys all the time. So they're really tight. But he wanted to send a message. He looked like he had more energy than the whole team. Rondo, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live. MBIC, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live tonight. Big Task, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live. Eric Green, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live. Listen, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with me on this LV Lunchtime Takeout show, man. It's going to be a quick show today, during lunchtime. But I had to touch bases with y'all, man. Listen, it was late last night. Plus, we got the great news from the Giants, right? So LV was hyped about that. I didn't want to dim the night, right? I was already tight about the Knicks, but, the Giants, what they did made me happy. So I'm in a good place. But I had to touch down my people, man, because it's another game tonight. So I will be trying to go. I'll try to go live tonight. I'll try. But it's going to be hard. But, yeah, disgusting loss. Precious looked like Precious looked like an all-NBA player last night. So it was ill. You know, Brunson going down, but him walking out without the boot or the crutches was fine. So it's okay. Now, I know what everyone wants to say. Everyone wants to destroy Towns. Everybody wants to destroy Mikal Bridges. I've been hearing it. I've been watching. I'm like, yo, people like they just want to destroy this team. They hate Towns. They hate Mikal. Now we're back on the picks with Mikal. He's soft. You know, now I'm hearing stuff about OG. We paid OG all that money. Everybody's destroying this team. Guys, listen, guys, look. This is the same team that made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Same team. That was year one of that project. Year one. Right? We went away from our coach. Got a new guy in here who's trying to figure things out. This is a veteran team. Trust me, they will get it together. But with this whole scenario here, with everything, it's hard for me to point at one player. It's hard for me to do it because everybody stunk last night. Everybody stunk it up in Detroit. And like so once again, the Knicks have lost 6 out of 8. I'm not looking. This is a total team thing. This is not one guy. Just like it's not one guy that makes you win games. It's not one guy that makes you lose games. It's not. So LV, I take a step back. I look at everything. I look at the whole thing here. Like so that's the frustration about what I'm seeing here. One shot D, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live, man. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button, man. Hit that like button for me, please. Look at One Shot D says, LV, you can't talk about last year. He's in all caps. He's barking at LV. Cavs was smoking everyone last year, and now this is trash. Can't count last year. This is a new year. One Shot D is tight. He said, LV, you true bugging. Here's where I have to disagree with you, sir. It's valid points, and I understand it. But what I'm saying, One Shot D, is because of how well we did last year, we're still top 3 in the East. We can't automatically say, okay, this team stinks. Everybody, like we can't do that, One Shot D. That's where I'm going with this here. Jay Supreme, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live, man. Everybody make sure you hit that like button for me. So, for me, I look at everything. I look at the total team. I look at how good we were last year. Year one of this now. Year one. With a coach who, people weren't happy with him. Now we got this coach trying to figure out offensive schemes. But we're still number 3 in the East. We won the NBA Cup, cool. So now we got to figure out how to get the best out of certain guys and get guys, right? But for the Towns piece, Mikal piece, OG's been up and down. So how do we get everybody on the same page? That's the goal here. It's not a, let's point out one player, because one player is not going to fix this, guys. Everybody wants to go get Giannis and trade Cat. It doesn't go like that, guys. It's all about chemistry. It's all about chemistry. And I thought last year we had great chemistry. We did. I don't know why, but we did. You have limitations with guys. Brunson has his limitations. As great as he is offensively, he's been atrocious defensively this year. We know what Towns is. Towns is like this, but we know how good he is when he's clicking. We know Mikal has issues with like his energy. Like sometimes he goes hard, sometimes he's not. He's fadeaways and layups, like whatever. OG has no handle, right? So I'm just saying there's holes here. There's holes here. So for me, when I look at the total picture, I'm looking at everything. Eric Green says, LV, man, I understand what you're saying, but there's a lack of effort, toughness. We're getting punked too often by the Kings now. Okay, Eric Green, well said. Okay, Eric Green, I'm glad you said that because that's where I'm going here. That's where I'm going. So if we're getting punked, right? This has been happening a couple of times. Why is that? We haven't looked right for almost 8 to 10 games now. Now, this is true. Even when we was winning games, we almost lost to New Orleans. We haven't looked right for a minute. We haven't. We have not. So for me, you're still trying to figure out what's going on here, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you got to look into the top guy who's running the show here. You got to look at the top guy, and the reason why I'm saying this is because this is the team, guys. This is the team. This is the team. We can't up and trade guys every time guys don't play well. You can't do that. You cannot function a team like that. But my thing is, you got to get the most out of guys. A lot of times, guys, it ain't the skill set. It's what's in here, man. It's what's in here. The really, really good coaches know how to get the best out of their players. They know how to make sure guys are up for games. They know how to make sure guys have better effort. They know how to make sure guys play with a certain type of toughness, right? This is what we're seeing. Guys don't go out there and get punked. This is what we're seeing. So I'm just saying here, I'm looking at everything. Because you say to yourself, okay, cool, what's the problem? Who's the problem? What's a quick fix? There is no quick fix. They don't put a lot of bread into this team. They put a lot of bread into this team. OG got his deal right before we got Cat. Cat is making what he's making. Mikal got his money this past summer. Brunson's locked in. Josh is locked in. All the core guys are locked in. They're locked in. And with that being said, we made it far last year. So what's the fix now? That's the question. Because you heard the owner. What did the owner say? The owner said, yo, man, look, this team should make it to the finals. Because he's looking at ROI, right? If you guys know business, you guys all my investment bankers out there, right? Return on investment. I'm looking at my ROI. So that's what I'm looking at here. That's what I'm looking at. I don't really care about where I get it. I better get it. That's how the owner's saying it. That's how he's talking. Because, Leon, you made the move to move Tibbs. Okay, cool. Because Tibbs don't want to follow through, whatever. Okay, cool. Whoever you get up in here better take this team to the mountaintop because I done invested a lot of money into this team. Choices that you decided you wanted to make. So what I'm saying to you guys is this is the team. This is the team. However we want to get mad about guys, this is the team. So what I'm getting at is this. If this is the team, then we got to make this work. So that's why I look at the top guy. I look at him, the head guy. You wanted the gig, right? So now you got to make it work with this team. This is the team. This is it. You can't trade players every time a guy doesn't play well for a couple of games. You can't do that. You can't. Not in today's time with the second apron and stuff like that. You can't continue to flip your team around just because a couple of months guys don't play well. After going to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, I'm just trying to put things into perspective for you guys. That's what LV's here to do. That's what LV's here to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying guys don't have limitations. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you better make it work is what I'm saying. That's it. You can't go and just go get Giannis and say, come here and make us a championship. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't. So that's why I have to shift over to the main guy. Why have they lost 6 out of 8? Why? Why can't Towns do this? Well, Towns was all NBA. I'm thinking of a businessman that's running the team. Towns was all NBA last year. We put all this money into him. Why was he all NBA last year? He had the numbers he had this year, but this year he's not looking good. Why? I'm asking you. Because we can sit there and say, oh, well, he don't do this, he don't do that. Okay, cool. Well, why did he do it last year? This is a question. Why did he do it last year? Why is Brunson defense so terrible this year? Why? Why? So I'm just saying this is just because it's a total thing, guys. I'm not going to sit here and point out one play. It's a big pitch. It's a bigger picture here. A bigger picture, man. And so that's what I'm trying to get you guys to look at it through that lens. The easy fix is, trade this guy. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't bring him in because we don't like him anymore. He's turning the ball over. Oh, McKellar's too soft. OG, no, we should. No. We don't want OG. We want to go get Kawhi Leonard. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Oh, okay. This Grover, here we go. Here we go. To quote somebody's comments from a few days ago, he's a $53 million anchor. Players paid this much are supposed to elevate others around them, not require others to operate themselves. Okay. Time passes, but what's up? Time passes, but I appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. Okay. It's Cat. He looks like he wants out. He is too lazy to learn a new offense. Okay. All right, so it's Cat, right? Okay. Big Task says the market capitalization of this roster should make the finals. Right. Okay. So this Rover, JB's defense is the same as last year. Actually, okay. I beg to differ. He looks like garbage out there. He looks like he doesn't even know how to play defense. And Cat is taking the exact same shots on the floor as he did last year, except he's missing all the time. Okay. Jay Supreme. I agree with this Grover. Yeah, this Grover's dropping heat tonight. Okay. This Grover says, no clue if the scouting's out on him or what, but he's been getting denied all the time now. Okay. All right. Okay. So Cat is just garbage now, right? Cat's just garbage. Once again, I just like to throw things out there. Jay Supreme, your boy Cat doesn't consistently play with $60 million a year with an all-star caliber player. Okay, so it's Cat. Everybody's Cat. It's Cat. Okay. Okay. Who else? Okay, Jay Supreme. Okay, so make sure I get through these because I'm about to go in. LV, in my honest opinion, this team might not be ready until next season. I think this year guys are learning their new roles and system, and Mike Brown is learning his players. Okay. All right. So I'm glad. That's why I love you guys, man. I appreciate everybody coming through rocking with me, man. I truly do during this LV lunchtime takeout show. That's why I love rocking with you guys because you guys always bring the heat, which we should do. Now it's Cat, right? So I said earlier, I said the whole team, but everyone's blaming Cat. Okay. So we trade Cat. Let's get rid of Cat, right? So we get rid of Cat. What's you guys' easy fix to this? We trade Cat. Who do you go get? He just was here. We just got him last year. We made the Eastern Conference Finals. So if I'm running the team and you tell me get rid of Cat, I'm gonna say why. Well, he just can't do. Why is he doing it this year, but he couldn't do it last year? That's what I'm gonna ask. Like once again, this is my team. I'm running it. Just get rid of him. Who are you gonna go get? Here goes Jay Supreme. I'm not saying it's Cat's fault. But you can't make that salary if he doesn't. No. No, Jay. I'm not saying you, Jay. Everybody is saying it's Cat. Everybody saying he's the problem. Everybody. Now I'm looking at this team. I seen Mikal the other day. I seen Brunson do nonsense, right? But the whole team looks bad. We've lost 6 out of 8. So you guys telling me we've lost 6 out of 8 and it's all because of Cat's fault? Like that's all I hear on Twitter, everywhere. They're destroying this guy. That's what I'm hearing. Now I watch the game just like you guys. So I watch it from everybody's standpoint. I'm not a Cavs defender. I love the Knicks. I don't just love Cat. I just love Brunson. I love the Knicks. I want us to be good. What I do know is this. When I see a return on something, I see the guy play really well and he's not doing this shit, I try to figure out why. When you change things and you bring certain people in, there's a certain type of voice in that locker room. Things change. So I wonder why things are. Now, what I do pay attention to, I pay attention to history, right? What this guy has shown me throughout his career is that these are the numbers that he does. This is what he creates. This is what he does, right? As far as skill set wise, everything. When I look at Mike Brown, we're going to give him a pass because he's just a couple months, right? But he had the same problems in Sacramento that he's having now, guys. That's why he got fired on the tarmac last year. That's why he got fired on the tarmac last year. So, you know why? Because there was issues going on in that locker room. He had problems with Sabonis. Sabonis had issues with him. He had problems with De'Aaron Fox. They tried to go and say that didn't happen, but there was issues going on behind it. There was reports. Then when DeRozan got there was problems. He told DeRozan he had to come off the bench. So what I'm saying to you guys is this. What did I start off here saying? It ain't a skill set with these guys. It's in here. It's in here. We heard from jump that there was problems with him and Cat. From jump. Cat said it. I don't know what my role is going to be. From jump. There was problems there with this guy. So, you know, I'm going to say this, and I want you guys to identify it. I want you guys to be honest with me here. BQ from BK, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live, man, on this LV Lunchtime Takeout show, right? So I want you guys to understand something. And this is one thing I will give Tibbs credit on. When you come to a team and you identify the pieces, your role is to say, yo, especially a team that's ready like this, they're full of vets and guys are ready to go. You guys say, yo, who's the stars? How are these guys mentally? How do I make these guys click and get to the next level? I'm not here to try to push my emphasis and my way of doing things onto these guys because I got to figure out the best way to win with these guys. Because here's the thing, guys. Let me give you guys a flash of everything. If Cat doesn't play well, we don't go nowhere. I'm gonna say it to you again. If he doesn't play well, if he doesn't get it together, we don't go anywhere. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. So how do we fix the problem? That's how I look at this. Not to bash him, to say, yo, this is the star player. Let me make sure he's getting the ball in the right, because we're trying to win games. We're trying to win it all. That's one thing Tibbs did get. He's not, you know, Tibbs has his problems, yes, but that's one thing he's always been known to do. When you're the star player, he's going to ride you, and he's going to make sure you produce. And so the issue is that I don't know what's going on with him in Towns. I don't know what dynamic or whatever, because I heard last night, I'm going to play it. He threw Towns underneath the bus because of what Towns did, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. It was crazy what Towns did. I'm not saying they're defending Towns. But he did the same thing in De'Aaron Fox over there too. So this guy, he says he does things like this. He puts people out on blast. The problem with him is in doing that, you don't have the cachet to do that. You ain't got the juice. You're not Pop. You're not Coach Popovich. You're not Steve Kerr. You're not Pat Riley. You're not these guys that got the juice and the balls to speak out and call out players, and the guys got to eat it. Because they know these guys have checks on their resumes and championships that you can't, you got to eat that. Coach Pop ran the Spurs. He was the guy. Pat Riley, we know who he is. Steve Kerr with all them rings. This guy's never won nothing. He's been fired everywhere and has been an assistant. That's how he got his chips. So once again, he doesn't have that juice to be calling out players. So the problem is that when you start banging heads with the stars like he did in Sacramento, that's causes problems. And from day one, they said he was having problems with Towns. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Disc Rover, here we go. LV, I thought we wanted a coach that's transparent and willing to call plays. Yeah, Disc Rover. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, but not in front. Disc Rover. You got to identify, right, who guys are. That's why I talked about the mental piece. You got to know how these guys are mentally, man. The stars are like star players are prima donnas, man. Everybody knows that. He can call out the guy underneath. Like, I'm talking about to the media, not behind the scenes. Excuse me. You can call it guys regular players, but the star players are prima donnas, man. These guys, their ego is so through the roof. Like, you gotta know how to be with these guys, and you gotta know what makes them click. You gotta know that. But when you jump out the window like that and do that, or whatever happened in the beginning, him and Towns been bumping heads obviously since the beginning. Just like he was going, there's reports out there that he had issues with Sabonis. Him and Sabonis had problems too. And then he tried to put DeRozan on the bench. That's why they fired him on the tarmac, man. So what I'm saying is, I pay attention to patterns. As much as I want to get on Towns, I gotta pay attention to the guy that came in here that's running things. I have to, you know what I'm saying? I have to be open to everything here. That's all I'm saying, guys, for you guys to be open to that. Yo, what's going on, new people? I see new people coming through, man. Mellow Mike. What's going on, man? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate you coming through. Wayne Peterson, man, what's going on? I appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. I'm just rocking out real quick. I usually do it after the game moves too late, but I'm coming through all my crew, man. So please subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate you coming through. Rock on me, man. It's truly appreciated. Wayne Peterson, here we go. He says, the coach can't fix a supposed star player's motivation. Cat is a 10-year vet. If he doesn't have it now, he never will. No, that's not what I'm saying, Wayne Peterson. What I'm saying is, Wayne Peterson, these stars, all these guys, all the stars, Brunson included, Luka included, all these guys are prima donnas, man. So you got to know how to deal with these guys, because here's the thing, Wayne Peterson. If he don't get it right with Towns, we're not going anywhere, man. That's how good of a player he is. So you got to find out what makes him tick. That's all I'm saying. This is because he's here. It'll be different, guys, if we say, all right, cool, pack him up, send him tomorrow, go get Giannis. It don't go like that. It doesn't. So you're going to have to go the extra mile with him, because, once again, he's getting paid $53 million a year. He was All-NBA last year. He's going to the Hall of Fame. You know how good he is. You're right. He's a 10-year vet. So you got to figure out what makes him tick. Because the reality is this team won last year. They won without you. So you're new. They're not. The players aren't new. You're new. So you got to come over and really, in some ways, conform to them. That's how it should go. Not them conform to you, and then the players looking up. Listen, guys, they've lost 6 out of 8. So we can sit here and say, it's Towns, it's this, it's that. It's affecting the team across the board. So the eyes are on him. Because it was the same issue in Sacramento. I'm not just making this stuff up. It was the same. So once again, I'm thinking of the whole team. Mikal looks like garbage. OG's like this. Time passes by. Negative. They couldn't afford him. Time passes by. They couldn't afford him. He was too much money. They capped out. They paid Rudy. They wanted to say, okay, we got a new star. Ant is a once in a lifetime thing. So they were building around him. They didn't gave Jaden McDaniels all that money, right? So you got Cat, Jaden McDaniels, you got Rudy's making all that money, you got Ant-Man. They had to come off of that. They did not want to do that, but they had to because of the money. They had just made it to the Western Conference Finals. They weren't going to try to blow that up, but they had to because of the money situation in the second apron. That's why they made that move. And to be honest, the only reason they made that move was for Dante. They didn't want Randall. They didn't want to touch Randall. The only way they made that deal pop was because they had to put in Dante. Wayne says maybe Cat might not be the guy. Players complained about Cat last year in the playoffs. It's not just the coach. Wayne, here's what I'm saying. Teams argue and fight all the time, but they still win. Michael Jordan was punching people in their faces and they still won. Right? Because they know how to conform to the bad boys had numerous fights. Like this stuff happens with guys. They complain. It's a brotherhood. It happens. I'm not talking about the players. They actually have no problem winning because they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. That was year one of this. That's what I'm saying to you guys. We're still, with all this, while everyone's complaining, we're still number 3 in the East. We're still one of the best teams in the league. So what I'm saying is, guys, the stuff is there for us to win now. What I'm saying to you guys is this. We're not going anywhere if this guy ain't right, man. Like, we're not. So we got to figure it out. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. And if you got to kind of, feed into his ego, fine. He's not the first and the last starter they had to do that for. So we got to figure it out. We won last year. Why can't we win now? That's the question. That's the question. We don't look like the same team, guys. So Cat is the reason why all the energy is off the team. Everyone looked like, so everybody was playing like an all-star last night. It was just Cat. Everybody like hot garbage. Deuce couldn't throw the ball in the river. Like, come on. Let's go over. Guys on Cat's salary like Joker and Giannis aren't disappearing 5 for 13 and going, okay, cool. But the salary, yes, but not this. He's not in that league with those guys, man. He's not. So to hold him up to those guys, he's not on the level of those guys. He's not, Discover. He's not. I understand who he is as a player. Like, I get that. But what I'm saying is this. What do we do with him? What do we do? If I let everybody talk, they'll trade him for Precious tomorrow. That's how much the hate is for Cat. And they totally forgot about what this guy did last year for us. Like, no one pays attention to history. Everyone's like, yo, what's going on now? Get him out of here. Like seriously. I hope Brunson doesn't go through a stretch where he's struggling. He's turning the ball over and missing shots. I hope he doesn't, because they're going to get flamed and want to kick him out of here and tell him he's a bum. They should have never believed in him, everything. Like, it shouldn't be like this, man. That's what I'm saying. This is our team. Cat's got to get better, yes, but then I look at the coach too. I look at everything. I look at the whole team. I look at how can we get better? How can a coach motivate this guy to get him on track? But what I do know is that from day one, they was bumping heads. That's not a good sign at all. That's all I'm saying. Jay says, this team is still a work in progress, and hopefully by April, we'll be playing our best brand of basketball. But your second best player has to be consistently better. Look, Jay, I'm not saying that, Jay. Jay, listen, I agree with all of that. But how, Jay? How? Listen, how has he fallen off a cliff? How has he fallen off a cliff like this? And they were saying in the beginning that there was issues with Towns and Brown, is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So once again, that's why I talk to you guys about in here, whatever's going on with Towns in here and how he feels and however Brown's communicating to him. I'm just being honest here. So that's what I'm throwing out there. You got to get it right with him, because if not, we're not going nowhere. Are they going to, guys? Let me ask you: Do you think we make a change? You think we trade Towns during the trade deadline? You think we do that? Do you think we do? Do you think we trade Towns at the trade deadline? I'm asking you guys. Do you think we do that? Everybody in here, do we trade Towns during the trade deadline? Does that happen? I just want everybody. I want to ask everybody that question. I want everybody to answer in the chat. Wayne Peterson, they complained right after the playoffs. It was a meeting they had. The issue still looming. I'm not saying we need to trade Cat, but we need a different roster construction to help him along. Okay, so there was problem. It was Wayne. Wayne, have you ever been on the team? Guys argue and fight all the time. Like that's easy. They argue and fight all the time. Brunson talked about how Josh used to beat up dudes at Villanova. Him and DiVincenzo got in a fight. DiVincenzo tried to hit Josh in the face with weights. Like this stuff happens, guys. In the locker room, this is not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Trust me when I tell you, that's not a big deal. Guys fight all the time. And they argue all the time. You're different with dealing with different personalities. I've told you guys before. I've been in fights in the locker room. Guys have gotten in fights. I done seen dudes get knocked out. I done seen dudes get bloody lips. I done seen that stuff happen. You got to break it up, but you guys still win games. That's what I'm saying to you guys. So all that stuff is noise to me. It happens. My thing is this. Why has he fallen off a cliff? And from day one, they've been talking about him and this guy being like this. Why? That's all I'm saying. Did Brown come in here telling Cat he got to sacrifice stuff? If I'm the man, let me ask you guys, if a coach come in there, you making $53 million a year, you're the guy. You're used to getting your shots and getting shots in certain spots. He says, I don't want you doing that no more. This is everything you've done your whole career. I don't want you doing that no more. I want you to run this. And you looking at him like, yo, I'm not running that. I'm not running that. You know what I'm saying? So now y'all bumping heads. Because you feel like he coming in trying to change up your game. Right? Once again, I'm looking at it from both angles here. Just like he did in Sacramento. Tell him DeMar DeRozan got to come off the bench. DeMar was like, yo, what? I'm not doing that. Right? So I'm sorry. Once again, I'm just asking. I'm just throwing it out there to you guys. Big T, I'm sorry, but Cat was supposed to get busy last night. I was highly disappointed in his gameplay versus Sacramento 13, though. Come on, man. Listen, he played like hot garbage. He played like hot garbage. Big Taz, you're absolutely right. He played terrible. He played terrible. He played terrible. Played terrible. But so did everybody else. Why is he playing terrible? Everyone else playing bad. Like why though? Why? Why? Like why? I'm looking at everything here, guys. I just want you guys to give me because all I'm hearing is Towns. I'm not hearing nothing else. That's why I'm going back and forth with you guys. Because all I hear is Towns. I'm not hearing nothing else. And it's because he's making the most money. All right, cool. All right. So don't you think the coach should make things more easier for him because he's the man on the team? Don't you think? Or the coach should be bullheaded and be like, nah, I'm going to do it my way. When excuse my language, when he hasn't won shit ever, he's just been an assistant coach. And now he gets fired off of the tarmac last year, but he's still coming over here and making demands. How you do that with the star player and y'all bump heads right at the jump when he had the same problems in Sacramento? That's all I'm asking. And I'm going to ask you guys, if you the man and somebody comes to the door and tells you need to make sacrifices, you making $53 million a year, you the man, and you like, yo, what? Sacrifice for what? And he coming in straight off the jump. Who's gonna agree to that? Anybody in the chat, who's gonna agree with that? Mellow Mike says, hey, LV, man, the outlook on this is that the trilogy of Coach Brown, Jalen Brunson, and Towns got to be on the same mindset, because if either one of them is not with it, we're not going anywhere. No, Mellow Mike agreed, man. Agreed. That's all I'm saying, Mellow Mike. That's all I'm saying. And you know who a lot of times got to make the sacrifice? The coach. The coach has got to make a sacrifice, because you got to understand these guys, listen, the team wins and goes by those guys, not you, especially when you haven't won anything. So you got to come here kind of like a little bit like kind of like reserved, like, all right, let me make sure Town, because we ain't winning nothing. And you'll find yourself without a job. Towns would be on another team making money. You'll find yourself without a job on somebody's end of the bench because you couldn't get it right in New York. That's what will happen. I'm sorry. That's just the truth of the matter. So that's why coaches come in here, they star players, they try to make it right with them. They don't come in here bumping heads with the star players. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Eric Green, it seems like the cat and coach problem is dragging the whole team down. So Eric Green, why is that? Why is that? What happened day one that it brought everything? That's all I'm asking, because they said they wasn't on the same page since then. So that's all I'm saying. And once again, I'm gonna say it to you guys again. I'm gonna stress this to you guys. These guys are divas, man. These guys aren't like normal guys. They don't think like how we think. They're soup. Their egos through the roof, because it has to be in order for those guys to be that good, right? So these guys, so you got to be a special type of guy to deal with these personalities. Like, you have to be. So it's so much bigger than X's and O's. So you got to be careful with what you say. You got to be, because they're the star players. They're making all the money. So you got to make sure you know how to press the buttons, because the reality is this: they'll still be in a job making hundreds of millions of dollars, and you'll be on the street if you don't make it work with these guys. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. And I'm glad Mellow Mike said that, because that's all I'm saying. They all got to get on the same page, because they're not going nowhere. If Towns don't get right, we're not going nowhere. I'm sorry. This Grover says, that's still Cat's fault. He's played basketball his whole life. He's got an ego about it. He needs to get over it. This Grover, that's easier said than done, man. Like, it's easy for you to say that, Discover. All I'm saying is these guys, it ain't like that, man. These guys are prima donnas, man. All of them. All of them. So that's why all these coaches really kind of like, kind of cower to these guys. They kind of like feed into their ego because they know, like, yo, I need them to win. So that's what all these coaches do. But what I'm saying is that this guy's got a history of not doing that. And that's why he's been fired. And that's why things don't work out wherever he's at, because I don't know. And there was stuff going on in locker room in Sacramento with him. So that's all I'm saying, Discover. That's all I'm getting at. Yes, Cat's got his faults. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we got to win games. So what do we need to do, Discover? That's what I'm getting at. We got to win games, and we need him to step it up. So what do we need Cat to do for him to be at his best? What do we need? Yeah, he's got an ego. All these guys do. Discover, LV, so what you're saying is that Cat has an inflated ego and is unwilling to sacrifice and adapt for the good of the team. If that's true, just get him out of here. The rest of the team has no problem adapting. Okay. So because of that, just get him out of here. Even though we won last year, Discover, you just get rid of him. And you had invested all this money in his capital. ROI, right? ROI, return on investment. You want that return, Discover, because you got it last year. Once again, this is owners talking now. So it ain't just all these guys got inflated egos, man. And all these guys are unwilling to sacrifice. Brunson does the same thing too. Sometimes he'd be going nuts. What I'm saying is that all these guys are like that. So you got to work around that is what I'm saying. And the really, really good coaches know how to do that. Because the reality is that they understand that we're not winning without these guys. I'm just being honest here. Wayne Peterson, it's not just Cat though. No, Wayne Peterson. I'm glad you mentioned that because everybody's talking about Cat. This is a Cat problem. That's what I started this off by saying. You guys remember? I said, yo, this is everybody. But all I've been hearing is Cat and Mikal. You're the first guy now says, okay, it's not just Cat though. Okay. I appreciate you saying that. But because I'm looking at everything. But no, everybody wants to focus on one guy. Like he's going to fix everything. And Anunoby has really bad lately on both sides of the court. He was getting cooked last night defensively. I saw Zach LaVine just go baseline, put his shoulder in OG's chest, and finish strong in that Baja. And OG had no pushback, no nothing. And how much is he getting paid? About $200-something million? Okay. We dismissed that, though. Okay. We are paying him top dollar for elite defense, but he's okay. Not the whole year, just as of lately, right? He's been doing that. Why? Wayne, why? I just like to ask questions. Why? Why? So it's because of Towns? Because based on everybody on Twitter, everyone, it's all Towns' fault. Town is the reason. BQ says, I don't agree with coaching making the statement publicly about Cat's upwards. That's just going a strain that BQ. That's BQ. That's what I'm saying, BQ. But he did that in Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox. He did that. And before you know it, he was gone. They fired him on the tarmac. After practice, he was flying to the plane. They called him on the jet and said, you're done, when he was on his way to the plane. That's what I'm saying about this guy. So once again, I get it. I understand it, but these guys got egos, man. These guys got egos through the roof. You got to understand, you got to know how to deal with these guys. And I don't know if he's figured out that balance yet. I don't know. Because I'm hearing the same stuff that I heard in Sacramento with this guy. And the frustration I have is that, guys, we're ready to win now. Remember I said to you guys, I said, yo, whoever comes in here, this is going to be the hardest job in sports because we're ready to go now. All you got to do is wash, rinse, repeat. You don't really got to change anything. You just got to make sure that Brunson ascends to that superpower, right? Get Cat to, right? So that's your job. And play the guys, play the guys minutes. Like get guys minutes on the bench. That's really it. That's all you have to do. You don't really got to do much here. You don't got to kind of try to like reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do that. We're ready to go now. So what I'm saying is, this guy, that's all he has to do. So why do we look like this? Like after 6 or 8 games. Excuse me, we lost 6 out of the last 8 games. And what I feel like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, what it feels like is this. In the beginning, it was kind of new to everybody what the Knicks were doing, right? Offensively. Once the league, after Christmas, once the league got a whiff of what the Knicks were doing, you saw the league start to tighten up. Guys start to make adjustments to what we're doing offensively. And we have not been able to adjust, right? So now you got to say, all right, cool. Because it's affecting all the players. Like, everybody is affected by this. So now you say, all right, cool. Well, what do we need to do? So then you look at the players. I'm not looking at the players. I'm looking at the coach. Because I say, yo, man, look, we got to make some adjustments here because the team doesn't look the same. So what are you going to do to make adjustments? Not call players out, but what are you going to do to make adjustments? Why does the whole team look like they have nothing after 2 days off? Why do they look like that? Why do they look like that against Detroit? Why do they look like that against Atlanta? Why do they look like that against Philly? Like, I'm just asking. This is a question. It's just a question. Because it's a team thing. It's not a one guy thing. This is a team. Teams win games, not one guy. Oh, Buddha, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live. Long time no see. Appreciate you, man, coming through Rock with me, man. It's truly appreciated. Long time no see, boss. To be honest, someone has to break Towns in order for him to become an all-around player for us. If he doesn't, he's gone by the deadline. Okay, so you think Towns is out of here? Interesting. Okay, so he thinks Towns is out of here. Rondo says, who's on the Knicks staff can coach the team if Brown gets fired? Oh, that's a question. I don't know. I don't know if anybody on the staff could do it. I think they're going to go to the outside, but I don't think he gets fired this year. I don't think that happens. They just got him. So I think they're going to figure it out. Big Taz, question: do you think that leadership is lacking in the locker room? Big Taz, that's a great question, man. It could be. It could be. You know, remember they brought in PJ Tucker last year, right? A lot of that. This I know you're asking Big Taz here. I'm sorry. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like that. It feels like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. The whole vibes is weird in that locker room. The whole vibes is weird. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. This row says OG and McKell performing quite well until these last few weeks. This Grover, the last few weeks, that's when the problems have been, man. They lost 6 out of 8. You can't deny the truth. Cat stats are down across the board this season, except maybe rebounds. All right. So, all right. This Grover, you seem like the biggest cat guy here. You have an issue with Cat. So, this Grover, what do we do? Do we trade Cat? What would you do right now, this Grover? I want to hear the deal that you would put out there, that you would do to fix this problem. I want to hear it. Whatever the case, something's going on with this team, and our second star player has not been stepping up when we need him. You said a lot of great things today. I think that's the best one. I think that's all we're saying. Something's going on with this team. Something's going on with this team. And a big a part of it is something's going on with Cat, right? So we got to figure out why. Why? And, you know, once again, I look at it from the eyes of the owner, not like of a fan or anything. I look at it like, yo, we were good last year, though. So what changed this year? So Towns is the problem? BQ, McKell is allergic to contact. Yeah, I mean, they were saying that last year about him, right, BQ? They were saying that last year about him, that he's allergic to contact, and right. So once again, like, what guys, help me with this, and tell me if I'm right or wrong. It seems like the guys that are getting the most shots and getting destroyed the most are the guys that a lot of people didn't really want the Knicks to make deals for. A lot of people didn't want to move DiVincenzo. They didn't, including LV. They didn't want. So when they made that move, they weren't too happy with that. And they brought in Towns. People were okay with the move, but they really, really had issues because we had to let go of DiVincenzo. Everybody was going bananas about those 5 picks from Mikal, right? Even though we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, it doesn't matter. Because whenever these guys have stinkers, they get destroyed more than anybody else on the team. I hear nobody talking about Josh. I hear nobody talking about Deuce when they had played bad games. I hear nobody talking about Mitch. I hear nobody talking about OG. I hear nobody talking about Brunson. It's just those 2 guys. And this is when even all those other guys have bad nights. Like, it always reverts back to those 2 guys all the time. The picks and giving up Devo for this guy. Like this is what I hear. I don't know, guys. Help me understand, because that's what it sounds like. Mikal got flamed all last year. Now it's Cat's turn this year. And these are the 2 guys that people were kind of skeptical about getting. Let's be honest. I think, tell me if I'm wrong, guys. I think if the Knicks would have kept the Nova boys together and Randall, and we kept losing in the second round, everybody will be happy. More so than what this team is now. I just think so. Because we're a better team. We are. We went further than we've been in years last year. We're still one of the best teams in the league. But people are still like, just help me. This row said, not Mitch. Everybody loves Mitch. Not Mitch. Jason said, that's Mike Brown, man. He's known for publicly calling out his players. Yeah, and Jason Preem, that hasn't ended well for him. It hasn't. It has not ended well for him at all. Like it has not worked for him. It hasn't. So I don't know why he continues to do that. That just seems like, you know what I mean? Oh, this Grover, no problem, man. Come on, you my guy, man. No problem, man. So, guys, I'm glad we're here, because this is a beautiful place. But the reality is that some things have to be changed here. How do we get Towns on track? How do we get this team to they're in a funk, man. I don't know why they're in a funk. They're in a funk. They're in a funk. So I don't know. What do we do? What do we do to fix the problem? What do we do? Because my thing is that, if heads are going to roll, man, if we don't make it to the finals, man. Heads are going to roll. Heads are going to roll, man. I don't know who, which, or what, but Rondo says, so should we do like Denver did Nick Nurse and send Coach Brown packing before the playoffs? I'll do anything to bring back. Yo, Rondo said he want back Tibbs. Rondo said he want back Tibbs. You hear that? Everybody wants Tibbs back, man. You guys want Tibbs back? You guys want Tibbs back? Okay, I forgot to type it. Dubuya. I'm sorry, I apologize. If the Knicks can swap Yabu for Nick Richards, would you consider Mitch for Sadiq Bey and Alvarado instead of losing Mitch for nothing? Ooh. Hey, I don't know, because here's the thing, guys. I read on Steph Bondy had a piece. Big shouts to him, Steph Bondy, New York Post. He had a piece in the New York Post where he wrote about Mitch and how he spoke to some execs, right, about Mitch. And Mitch, like Bobby Marks and these guys, and Mitch market is not what you guys think. Like some teams are talking giving Mitch 2-3 years for like $30 million or $40 million, something crazy like that. 2 years for like 36. 3 years for like 45 or something like that. They talk about low numbers like that. And the reason why is because they don't believe in paying a guy $80 million or $90 million. He can only play 20 minutes a night, and he could play some days he could play, some days he can't, and his injury issue. So there's a good possibility the Knicks could bring Mitch back for a good price, though. But that's what the market is, man. That's you guys got to read it. I'm gonna post. I wish I could post it. I can't. But that's what they're saying. What the market is for Mitch. Like some execs are saying that. Steph Bondy wrote that, man, in his piece in New York Post about Mitch's market. But I'm not shocked though by that. I'm not surprised at all that that's his market. Guys, he can't stay healthy, man. He can't stay healthy. And I love Mitch, but he can't stay healthy. You can't pay $80, $90 million to the big $90 million to a big man, and he can only play 20 minutes, and he can't play back-to-backs and all this other stuff, and his injury issues. That's just the truth, man. Mellow Mike says, if we don't make it to the finals, there's going to be a big makeover with this team for sure. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think so too. NBIC, here we go. We got lucky last year. A young Detroit team has leapfrogged us. We need to win a chip, not go to the Eastern Conference Finals one time in 5 years. We will not repeat this year. Fire Leon and Trey Brunson now. Wow. NBIC says he wants Brunson out of here. Out of here. He wants Brunson gone, man. Melon Mike says, Mitch is great at what he does. Unfortunately, the injuries have taken a toll for the foreseeable future. That is what any team, not just the Knicks, will have to deal with. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Minimum low, man. That's what Steph Bondy had in this piece, man. I'm paraphrasing it. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the gist of what it was. You know what I'm saying? With his piece, that's what they're saying about Mitch, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's what they're saying about him, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know. BQ says for $80 million, I need a big that can shoot. Yo, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's the market that they were saying, you know, for Mitch. Jay Supreme said Bridges has actually played well so far this season. Jay Supreme, check it out. Everybody's played well, but after the Cup, things have gone downhill, Jay Supreme. And I think people have started to figure out what the Knicks want to do offensively. So that's why I'm looking at the coach to adjust, because regardless of anything, Towns is still averaging 20 and 11. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, his numbers are still decent, right? So what I'm saying is, I don't know what's happened these last 8 games, right? I don't know what's happened, or even prior to that. Like, their defense has dropped. Offensively, they're holding the ball. They're not moving the ball. I don't know what's going on with this team. And, of course, you know, everybody's firing at Towns, but it's a total team thing. It'll be different if Towns was struggling, but the team is winning. Like, he's putting Mitch in there, and they're winning, and they're rolling, and it's like Towns is the only outlier. Like, it's just him with the problem, and the Knicks have to move off him because he's a cancer in the locker room. Like, all this stuff is going on, right? Like, it'll be different if that's not the conversation here. That's not. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Towns should be doing this because he's making this amount of money. I'm not knocking that. But what I'm saying is, if he's bumping heads with one of his top star players right in the beginning, and he comes in the gate telling Towns he got to sacrifice, most guys are not going to want to do that. Hence, he told, you know what, DeRozan, he had to come off the bench. DeRozan was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Like, so once again, you're telling star players certain things. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? So once again, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out as a coach to get Towns on track, to make sure this team looks better than what they are. They had no juice last night. Why? They had 2 days off. That's a Towns thing? No, that's not a Towns thing. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. It's bigger than that. Jason says, let's not go crazy, man. The Spurs just lost a bunch of games too. It's the dog days of the season. Teams will go through slumps, not the end of the world, guys. Listen, Jay, agreed. But it's how we've looked in these losses, Jay. Like, it's how we've looked. That's the thing. Like, we just look like lifeless. Like, we're getting punked on the court. Like, we just don't look like. Now, what I will say is that these are veteran teams, right? We're not the Spurs. Us. We're a veteran team. So maybe they're kind of like coasting. I don't know what it is. But what I'm saying is that it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Now, this team probably picks it up. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the players are still the same that they were last year. And we did really good. So when you come in as a coach, you got to find a way to make this team better. They shouldn't be regressing. So what I'm saying is you got to figure that out at the end of the day, because this is the team. I don't think Towns is getting traded. If Towns is getting traded, now we're having a different conversation, guys. Now we're having a different conversation about what this team looks like without Towns, blah, blah, blah. But from what I know, I don't think that's happening. So how do we make it work? How do we make it work without bashing guys and telling guys they stink? How do we fix this? Big Q says, Coach had them playing zone in the middle of a wide open. But Big Q, that's what I'm saying, BQ. That made no sense. You had DeRozan out there. He's the mid-range king. He don't want to shoot threes. You went zone. What are you doing? I'm just saying, that's my point. Everybody's off. I don't know what's going on. So I'm looking at the big picture here, man. What's the main issue with everybody? And what's going on? So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's ill. But listen, we got a game tonight against the Warriors. I will try to go live after that, so we'll kind of see exactly what's happening. But hopefully we can get this team together, man. We got to get this team together. Man. They just look bad across the board, man. Everybody. You have some good games. There's no consistency. So we got to figure out how do we get everybody consistently. And like someone said earlier, to get everybody, especially the star players, on the same page. How do we do that? Because we're not going anywhere without those guys. We're just not. I'm sorry. We're not going to the championship with just Josh Hart and OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. We're not. So we need the star players to be star players. But how do you unlock those guys, man? That's the key. NBIC, here we go. Our biggest problem is that we don't have Udoka. Udoka's right. I love Udoka. But he got issues, man. You gotta you gotta watch him around the facility. You know what I'm saying? He got those stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? BQ, you know what? Yeah, I'll get to that. Let me do that right now, BQ. Let me get that right now, BQ. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was gonna do that too right before I hopped off here. I'll play that right now for you guys. I'll play that right now for you guys right now. I'll play that. Play that right now for you guys. And see, if you notice, Tibbs would have never did nothing like that. He wouldn't have did that. Tibbs wouldn't have did that because once again, Tibbs understands star players and how they are, right? So, I'm not sitting here saying you gotta baby him, but you gotta kind of low key baby them, like you gotta do that because that's just how these guys are. These guys' egos are like really, really frail, man, really frail. And so you got to understand that you can't be so quick. You can't do that with these guys, man. Because he did that to Fox, and that didn't work out well for him. Like it didn't. So you got to be that way, man. These guys are soft, man. All these dudes, they're making so much money. They get whatever they want. You know what I mean? Cat was the number one guy everywhere he went growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like Cat was always the best player. Like he just, so these guys got egos through the roof. But you think LeBron doesn't have an ego? These guys got egos, man. So you got to kind of be careful when you say things like that and you do certain things. Remember, Melo had an ego. Remember, they was telling Melo he had to come off the bench. Melo wasn't trying to hear that. So, you got to be careful when you're dealing with these guys and how, these guys feel about certain things. So I'm not a big fan of it. You know what I mean? I'm just not. Now, if you want to do it behind the scenes, cool. But I'm not a big fan of that in front of everybody because that players like that, they're not going to like that. And then it's going to cause friction and, I don't know. But here he is. He's talking about Cat right here.
Something happened where he fell down. I think he fell down. When you fall down, you got to get up, you got to sprint down the floor. And even if you're the last guy down the floor, you got to get down there just in case there's a long rebound. But there was no urgency. Now, that wasn't the only play. There were a handful of plays where we did that, but there was no sense of urgency on that particular play to get back. and it was a 5-point swing. If he at least gets down the floor, long rebound, he's going to get it because he's trailing the play. But we watched the play at halftime, and he didn't even cross half court. And that's part of that. That sums up, what our night was.
I like this guy, man. He's a good coach, but that you can't do that, man. You can't do that. You can't do that because now that you just got to be careful with stuff like that. Because here's the thing: would he do that to Brunson when Brunson lost the ball like that? And Brunson had a couple of guys open. Remember, he lost the ball and he kind of, you know what I mean? Like, remember the game he lost the ball and turned it over. Did we lose that game? I think we might have lost. Or when he was playing Detroit and he wasn't passing to nobody. Like, he doesn't, right? Like, okay, I shouldn't say this because, this guy might be sensitive. You got to know that about these guys. So you got to be careful with that stuff. So was he right? He was right. Let me fix that first. He was 1,000% correct. But you got to say that behind the scenes, man, to that guy, man. You don't put him on blast like that in front of everybody. You don't do that. Not to a star player like that. And so, he kind of dropped the ball here, but he did it in Sacramento too. You know what I mean? He did it in Sacramento, and before we knew it, he was on the tarmac getting fired. So I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it just because, once again, you got to pay attention to these guys' egos, right? But Mellow Mike says Mike Brown did mention from the beginning of the season that he was going to hold people accountable, so it should be fair down the line with all players, including our captain. It should be. Yeah, but he wouldn't do that to Brunson, man. Mellow Mike, he's saying that, but he doesn't really mean that. Because he wouldn't do that to Brunson. He wouldn't. He would not do that to Brunson because he knows, right? So he's kind of picking and choosing. But you're playing on thin ice through there, Mellow Mike. You're playing with fire, man. You're playing with fire, and you're the new guy. He just got here, man. He just got here. You know what I'm saying? So once again, you can play in this pool if you want to, but they won't without you, man. So you got to come here and you got to kind of change things to where they get better. You can't be on like doing stuff like this because it can really cause rifts. Like it can really, really cause rifts. Like big time. You know what I'm saying? Like behind the scenes stuff. We know how close Cat is with Leon and Leon's pops and World Wide West. All them guys is tight. Like, so you got to understand like how deep this goes. Like, you know what I mean? This guy's new. You know what I'm saying? He's not part of the circle. Meaning of Leon, Rick Brunson, Cat's dad. Like all these guys are close. All these guys are close. It's like a big family. So they can argue and fight amongst each other. But when you're on the outside coming in doing stuff like this, I wouldn't be surprised if Cat's dad says something to Leon like, yo, man, tell your man to watch his mouth about my son. Right? And then Leon's like, yo, man, I can't. Like, yo, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You told us woo, right? I'm just saying, you don't know behind it. So that's why you got to be careful with stuff like this. You have to be. And I would have thought that he would have learned his lesson because he did it in Sacramento. Then he found himself on a tarmac. So what I'm saying is, when you're still with star players, it's the way that you handle these guys. It's different. It just is. It's different. If you want to call it the star treatment, call it that. But these guys are different dudes, so you got to handle them differently. Towns is no different. He's kind of struggling this season. We all know that. It's obvious. But you got to figure out and make it work with him because we're going to need him to win. I said this last year about Mikal, right? Everyone was destroying Mikal. I said, everyone's barking on this guy like he's some scrub. We're going to need him. We're going to need Cat. We're going to need him. So if we're not going to trade him and go get Giannis and send off a whole bunch of stuff to bring back one player for Cat, if we're going to keep him, then we better make it work, right? That's just being smart. We better make it work, man, so we can get to the finals and do what we were supposed to do, what everybody had us predicted to be. It's really simple. It's not hard. So that's why I say it's up to him, man. He's the guy running the show. So he's got to press all the right buttons, because if not, we might be in an early exit in the playoffs, man. So we got to tighten up really, really quick, man, because it's not going to get any easy going forward. All right, people, listen, that's my show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, people, right? Also, too, if it's your first time coming through rocking with me, please subscribe to the channel. I do this after every Knicks game. So please come through and check it out. Also, too, hit that bell icons, get all notifications on all my shows, right? But I appreciate everybody coming through, rock with me, man. It's truly, truly appreciated. I do this for y'all to give you guys a voice to come here and voice your frustrations, man. And I think that's what we do as fans here, man. But it's all fun, all family. We all love the Knicks. We're trying to get them to win. That's all that matters. All right. But listen, I'm gonna try to go live tonight after the game. We'll see how I feel. But if not, I'll be going live tomorrow during lunchtime, man. But listen, I appreciate everybody coming through, rock with me, man. All right. I'm LV Live, and that's my show, and I'm out of here. Peace.